We're now joined by our good friend John Sarno, president of the Employers Association of New Jersey. Good to see you, John.
Good to see you. Good morning.
You got it. Hey, John, listen, we're taping on the 22nd of June. We'll be seeing later. Again, moving target here. The most significant workplace-related issues for employers would be?
Right now, it's making the transition back to post-pandemic environment. Very tricky, very complex. I think that's probably the preeminent issue at the present moment, and quite frankly, going forward for the foreseeable future.
So let's dig a little deeper here. There are some employers we've spoken to, for-profits, not-for-profits, academic institutions, et cetera. All employers. We're an employer, the Caucus Educational Corporation, PBS, they're employers. Why am I confused, and I'm not the only one, about whether employers can mandate that their employees get vaccinated?
Well, I think it's natural to be confused because, New Jersey has been operating under several executive orders, right? So the state has its own authority to respond to a public health crisis. On the other hand, we have the CDC and the OSHA guidance.
OSHA is a federal agency around safety and protection of employees.
Correct.
In the workplace.
Safety and health. So oftentimes they can be overlapping, but
how about contradictory?
In conflict, clearly. So I think that is, probably accounts for why there might be uncertainty. And then you have the natural consequence of the vaccination being voluntary. We don't have a mandate, so that we're going to have probably close to 70% of adults at the end of the day fully vaccinated in New Jersey. Many of them are in the workforce, but that means that there is probably going to be 20 to 30% unvaccinated. So we are going to have a mixed bag with regard to who's vaxxed and who's not.
But for employers, John, devil's advocate question, do they not have a responsibility, don't they have a responsibility to protect all employees potentially from COVID by making sure that all employees are vaccinated? And if you're not vaccinated, letting that person into the workplace is risky.
Oh, without a doubt, without a doubt. Under existing law and labor standards, an employer can require an employee to get vaccinated. Now, if the employee has a disability or medical condition, then that might be an exception. But an employer could require the vaccine. There's no question about it.
How about a religious exemption?
Yes, you'd have to accommodate a genuine, sincere religious objection, similar to a medical condition or a disability.
How about a political objection?
No. Those First Amendment type free speech issues would not be in play in a private workplace. Now, if you're employed by a municipality, a public employer, there might be a very limited First Amendment right, but clearly the welfare and the safety and the health of the workforce would outweigh a kind of a free speech type of argument that you can make even in a public workplace.
Hey, John, the whole concept of normal, back to normal, and then the term new normal.
Yeah.
How do you describe what you believe will be the so-called workplace of the future? Normal, new normal, back to normal, no normal?
Well, that's a great question because, we have a tendency to be nostalgic and sort of want to go back to this.
I want to go back
to this ideal, environment. But like the normal pre-pandemic, really wasn't that great for a lot of workplaces and certainly for a lot of workers. I mean, stress levels were high. The World Health Organization had identified work burnout as an occupational illness. All of this before the pandemic. So I think there's probably a once in a generation opportunity to create better workplaces. So, I see the new normal not as going back, not trying to repeat what didn't work, but an opportunity to create better work for more people, better workplaces with health, safety, and engagement as the core human resource function.
John, it's been 16 months since, and the Caucus Educational Corporation, our production company, not alone in this, 16 months since I believe this second week of March 2020 that we have not been in an office together, but we're all functioning. We have a great team behind the scenes, a great producers, director, audio, camera. I'm in this studio with Scarlett, who's operating our camera, but everyone else is remote. But we're not everyone else, meaning we can function in our workplace this way, I don't know for how long, and it may be for the foreseeable future, a long-winded way of getting to this. For those who don't fall into that category and can't do what we're doing like this, do they not all have to go back to the office together?
I mean, precisely, you hit it right on the head. The pandemic laid bare on multiple levels the inequities, both in the economy, in the workplace, and in our communities. So yes, you and I have had the privilege to work from home, right? By virtue of our occupation, by virtue of our education, by virtue of the businesses that we run. But for 80% in the service economy, which has to work face-to-face, they risk their lives. The essential workers put their lives at risk. And these are not like great paying jobs in any event. Healthcare, public service type jobs. So, I think we're going to have to address those inequities because the normal, again, wasn't that great for these essential workers.
John, I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm up against the break right here. Real quick, give me 30 seconds on, I have a leadership question I'll ask you separately, but real quick, on the workplace shortage, there's a legitimate workplace shortage, is there not?
Totally.
Real?
Totally real.
A lot of factors.
More jobs are vacant than people looking right now. And for those of us who are skilled, what we've learned during the pandemic is that maybe we don't want to go back to that employer. So not only are the job vacancies up, we have a 20-year high of people quitting their jobs right now.
Now you got me thinking about all of our team, and I'm hoping, praying that nobody does that with us.
Well, we have a job to do. I mean, that's our job.
Yeah, we do.
Right?
As
it's
employers,
to nurture and to mentor and to retain.
Yeah, and creating that healthy, safe, productive environment. Hey, John Sarno, the president of the Employers Association of New Jersey. Thank you, John.
You bet. Take care.
See you soon. I'm Steve Adubato. That's Mr. Sarno. We'll be right back.
State of Affairs with Steve Adubato is a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Prudential Financial, RWJ Barnabas Health, New Jersey Sharing Network, NJ Best, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, the New Jersey Education Association, Summit Health, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, and by the Fidelco Group. Promotional support provided by CIANJ and Commerce Magazine, and by NJ Biz.
Hi, I'm Joe Roth. In New Jersey, there are nearly 4,000 residents in need of a life-saving organ transplant, and one person dies every 3 days waiting for this gift of life. One organ and tissue donor can save 8 lives and enhance the lives of over 75 people. You have the power to make a difference and give hope. For information or to become an organ and tissue donor, visit www.njsharingnetwork.org and be sure to talk with your family and friends about this life-saving decision.